Hey guys, welcome back. So this is week 2 of Better Drums, Quarantined, the 10-week Church Drummer Challenge. And so last week we were working through the free ebook, and I'll throw that up again so that you can see a picture of that. So you can download it for free, and we're going to be talking about week 2 this week. If you had any trouble last week with week 1 material, leave a comment below and we'll be sure to get that next time. And if you have any trouble with the material from this week, you can leave a comment and I'll get that in the next video as well. So you can download the ebook for free at harold-.com, and it has links and audio embedded. So it's designed, or it's written so that you can teach yourself how to read and improve as a drummer. And even in this time when things have happened quite unexpectedly, you can still improve as a drummer and teach yourself how to read, right? It's worth it. So last week we talked about quarter notes and eighth notes. So just to review that, 1, 2, 3, 4. That was the quarter note. And then to count the eighth notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. This week, we're moving on to 16th notes. So here you go with the 16th notes there. And you can see now that the quarter note at the top can divide into 2 eighth notes. So that 1, 1, 1, if you think of this pulse, it can become 1 and 1 and 1 and 1 and. And then this pulse can also divide into 4. 1E and a, 2E and a, 3E and a, 4E and a, 1. So to put that into a context that maybe some of you might understand more easily, I'll play boog, pack, boog, pack. And so I'm going to play that now with an ostinato, an eighth note ostinato in the hand. 1 and 2 and. So you'll hear the quarter note between the bass drum and the snare drum, and you'll hear the eighth note ostinato on the hi-hat. Check it out. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Now I'm going to change this to 16th notes and keep the bass drum and snare drum the same. So look, 1, 2. So you can see how that divides up. And so I'm sure all of you have already played eighth notes on the hi-hat and 16th notes in the hi-hat, and that's how they would be notated. An eighth note has 1 beam, or 1 flag, and a 16th note has 2 beams, or 2 flags. All right, so let's move along here, and let's look at some of the material that's there. So one of the things that we've got here is an exercise that's going to help you develop, remember the rudiment from last week, the single stroke roll. We also talked about the double stroke roll. Those were our 2 rudiments. Now, many times with the single stroke roll and double stroke roll, you'll notice that one hand gives you more of a problem than the other. So if you're right-handed, generally that's going to be your left hand is your weak hand. If you're left-handed, the right hand is your weak hand. So here we have an exercise that is going to just help develop movement and then to the rudiment, the single stroke roll. So I'll put the quarter note here for reference. 1, 2, and here's the exercise. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Now the cool thing about that is you can focus on the movement of one hand and then put them together. So to get the most use of this, we should reverse the sticking as well. So now I'm going to do it with a left hand lead. Everything is opposite from what you see there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. All right, so that exercise is going to help you a lot, and it's going to help you also as you shift between 8th notes and 16th notes. So many times we'll play, I'll sing the fill-in now because I don't have a full kit in front of me, but say you're playing a fill-in like boog, pak, vrak, du, jaka, da, right? That's an 8th note part. Vrak, dug, 8th notes, jata, da, your 16th notes. So if you're comfortable playing 8th notes and 16th notes and combining them, you're less likely to speed up in your fill-in. And a lot of drummers in general, one of our problems is that we either speed up or slow down. So consistent time is going to be really important as we move along and try to progress as a drummer. All right, so then, now that might look a little bit scary. I'm going to move it down just a bit here. Okay. And so here again, you have some notes. If we look at that first bar, you can see a quarter note, 4 16th notes, right? So 4 16th notes, I'll put it up here so you can see my hand, a quarter note, and then a quarter note rest, all right? And on the bottom line, it begins with 2 8th notes. So you can see the 8th notes there, here on this part, So quarter note starts the top there, and eighth note starts the bottom there. So just to review how the notes look. Now I'm going to sing this, and then I'm going to play it. So I'm going to let you know how do you analyze this, or how do you speak the lines here. So if this is the time, 2, 3, 4, it'd be 1, 2 E and a 3, rest. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3, 4, 1, rest. 3 E and a 4, 1 E and a rest, 3 E and a rest. 1 and 2 E and a 3 and 4 E and a 1 and 2, 3 E and a 4 and 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 and 2 E and 4 and. So you can see now that's how we would analyze it based on what we know about reading rhythms so far. So now when we play it, I've got the stickings there for you as well, because sometimes when you play a piece, especially if you're sight reading, if you don't have a method of how you're going to play stickings, many times you can read it and you can understand it, but you mess up with the sight reading, especially because there's this like lag from your brain to your hand, because your hand isn't, or you hesitate what hand should play the sticking. So it's good to get a sticking kind of in you so that when you play it, your body just second nature on that. So I'll put the quarter note here. Here we go. 1, rest. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, rest. 3, 4. 1, rest. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that is that. Hey, Michelle, Marissa, and Mylene, thanks for checking out the lesson today. So that's how you would read that piece, and that takes it to the next level. Now we've moved from quarter notes to eighth notes, and now you're on 16th notes in just 2 weeks. Congratulations as you read along on that. So now let's look, this chapter will also look at some fill-ins that apply 16th notes. So last time we looked at grooves that applied eighth notes, so now we're looking at fill-ins that apply 16th notes. And again, you'll notice that there's a blue link there. For this one, no longer slaves. And if you click that, it takes you to the exact moment in the audio on a YouTube video that you can hear this pattern right here. And so then you can hear what it sounds like, and you can see, okay, that's how I would notate that. That's how it would look, what I hear there. So we're combining, again, how the ears hear something and with how your eyes would see it, and merging them to teach you how to read, okay? And so this pattern, you click the link and you could go ahead and hear it, but I'll play it here as well. So here we go. Okay, and that's no longer slaves. And in the book, there are, again, 12 to 14 different fill-ins that apply 16th notes for you to check out and you to hear, and all of them reference very popular worship songs that you have probably played a number of them in your church, but now you can hear and see how some of the fill-ins from those tracks would be notated and played. All right, so another one from this chapter is Lion and the Lamb, and this is the opening fill-in from Lion and the Lamb. And so here we can see that it's got a rest. It's actually got these arpeggiating synthesizer sounds going, and so we're going to be resting, and then when the time comes, it's 1, 2, and you go into the pattern. All right, so again for the fill-in, 1, 2. Okay, so that's a pretty cool fill-in. I like these ideas where the bass drum starts off the figure, like this one. Hey, G-Bay, thanks for tuning in again. So another fill-in from this chapter now is Look to the Sun. This is from Hillsong Worship. Click the link so you can hear this. But it has something that looks like a greater than symbol. That's actually an accent. And so if you're playing, say your normal volume is here, or this would be the lower volume, then the accents, you're going to pull them out louder, okay? And so I'm just going to play what this sounds like. And again, download the book, download the chapter if you want. You can download the whole book or just by chapter. Again, it's free. Go to the website, and then this is what this pattern sounds like. All right, so you can hear how the accents work there, and it's a really cool pattern. I mean, compared to having this, and this one is actually even cooler because it's a 2-bar pattern. You'll notice that the first bar and the second bar are different. So, and that makes the phrase longer, and again, more interesting. Hey, Gyrus, what's going on? Hey, guys, thanks for everyone. Thank you for, joining me today. I'm hoping that this will help you a lot as you move along and work on, your journey as a drummer. So in Chapter 2, then, we also look at stamina. One thing that comes up a lot with students is like, how do I develop my feet? After a certain amount of time, the leg hurts. Whether if you play heel down, it's going to be your calf muscles, or if you play heel up, it's often your thigh. And so how would you develop that? And the answer is you have to actually think of it kind of like an athlete. We have to develop muscle groups that we don't usually work with. And so in this case, let's do an exercise of playing a drum pattern, and let's play it for 3 to 5 minutes. You might say, well, why 3 to 5 minutes? Well, most worship songs fall in the range of 3 to 5 minutes, so we should be able to play consistently for 3 to 5 minutes. If you happen to play longer sets, maybe you can try to do the exercise even longer. And so we're going to play a pattern where the bass drum is straight across. And again, it's not to say that this is the pattern you're going to use in a lot of music, but this is an exercise that will help you develop that particular muscle group. And so check out what this would sound like. Sorry. And then you could try it faster. And so again here, what you would be doing is you would be looking to play this for 3 to 5 minutes, and it's something that you can develop. So for example, the first time that you try to do it, you can only do it for say 30 seconds, and then it starts to hurt. If something starts to hurt, stop. No, this is not no pain, no gain. If it really starts to hurt, stop. Don't injure yourself. You can hurt things in your body, and then you'd be sidelined from practicing or from playing for possibly 4 to 6 weeks or longer if you really mess something up. So you don't want to do that. But you're looking to improve. So you could track, the first week I could only do 30 seconds. The next week I could do 45. The next week I could do 60 seconds. And seeing that growth is also something that can inspire you to practice more. So you definitely want to do that. And it's a great idea to have a practice journal or something where you can keep track of, I can play it this fast this week, and then maybe 1 month from now you realize, wow, I'm already 20 BPM faster. Because sometimes, we become discouraged where it feels like we're not making any progress. But often we are making progress, we just don't realize it. So writing down in a practice journal, like, this is where I was, you can always refer back to it and see your growth, which is very encouraging for those times. All right, then we also look at some new hand ostinatos. So last week we were working with 8th notes in the hi-hat. Now we're looking at hand-to-hand 16th notes. And so here's 2 songs. This is Amazing Grace and Every Day. Again, very popular songs. You may know these. And it has this hand-to-hand 16th note pattern. And really, this is just the single stroke roll, which is the rudiment you worked on last week. So check it out. Okay? And so you can notice that it's a right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, and then the right comes down. Okay, so that's the hand-to-hand 16th. So again, click the link and hear the music. So we're working on that one, and then we're working on single-handed 16th. Now, of course, you can do this faster than the single-handed, but it sounds a little bit different. And so examples where you hear single-handed 16th are Mighty to Save and Starlight from Bethel. And that one sounds like this. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right? And so your hand is just tapping out the 16th notes there. All right? So then in order to develop these 2 new ostinatos, single-handed 16th and hand-to-hand 16th, we're actually going to apply it to grooves you worked on last week. So the 8th note grooves from last week, we're going to change the ostinato. Instead of playing 8th notes now, we're going to apply 16th notes. So we can take the example, one of the examples from last week, which is Your Love Never Fails, and try to put single-handed 16th. So check it, tick it back, tick it. All right. Now, that's not the pattern that's on the track, but we're doing this to develop our ability to play different types of ostinatos. And there are songs that use that pattern, not that particular song, though. So it's a pattern that you're already familiar with, and you're changing the ostinato to lead to more development. Then we can also, of course, try to apply hand-to-hand 16th notes. And I'll speed it up. Okay, and so then you'd hear an example of that. And again, that's still the pattern from Your Love Never Fails, but now we're applying a new ostinato to that. All right, and then as we move along in this chapter, then there's something for independence. And you'll notice that that screenshot actually has a speaker icon. So within the ebook, you can click the speaker icons and you can hear me play the example, play whatever was written on the page. This particular example is working on developing your ability to start to play 16th note partials inside of a groove. And so here we have an 8th note groove, 2 and 4 on the snare, but we're going to move the bass drum through the 16th notes. I only put the first 4 bars here. This is a 16-bar exercise. Check out the book for the rest of it, but this is what it would sound like. And then again, in the book, tap the speaker icon and you can hear me play it as well. So here's the pattern. 1. Okay, so that's the pattern to develop 16th notes in the foot, because the next chapter we'll be working with 16th note grooves already. And our new rudiment for this week is the single paradiddle. So last week we had the single stroke roll, right, left, double stroke roll, right, left, left. The single stroke roll now is a combination of the two, and so you can see that it's right, left, right, and then it turns around, left, left. So try to play it even, balance the hands. Sounds like this. Slow it down. Okay, so this is again a very useful rudiment, and the cool thing about this one is that it turns around the pattern for you, so you're really working on developing the weaker limb in this case. Okay, and then the last thing from this particular chapter is going to be hand-foot exercises. And so for today, I'm going to put in a couple of videos that are in the book. So the book has links to songs, popular worship songs, but it also has links to videos that I produced to help you understand the content. And so here are hand-foot patterns and how we can apply them. All right, so that was week 2. Remember, get the ebook, work through the material. I'll see you again soon. Keep on drumming. God bless you guys.